Yes guys, welcome back to another video here on the Andy#1 channel. Today's video is another episode, another instalment of Tuesday Talks, when every Tuesday live on Instagram, on my Instagram page, I talk to a current pro, someone within the game of football, about their experiences, about their journey, about how they came to be where they are today. Today's guest on Tuesday Talks is current Doncaster goalkeeper Ian Lawlor. Ian started his career at Manchester City after moving across from his native island. He got himself into the first team picture, trained alongside Joe Hart, Willy, Caballero and Angus, Gunn. Moved to Barnet on an emergency loan where he got his Football League debut. Moved to Bury as well on loan, played 12 games at Bury. He saved 2 penalties in an FA Cup replay versus Bradford. Moved to Doncaster, won promotion from League 2 to League 1 for Doncaster, and is now currently on loan at Scunthorpe. Ian's also represented Republic of Ireland under 19, under 21 level, and has received numerous call-ups to the senior squad as well. It's going to be a fascinating chat. Stick with us. Let's get into it. Right, everyone's ticking in now. How are you?
I'm alright, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it's been nice and warm today, but back at work, I'm kind of a little bit lost. It's Tuesday. I had a long weekend.
Just all rolling into one at this stage, isn't it? We don't know what day it is. It's just all rolling into one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still working, so I'm still full-time. It's just all at home.
Yeah.
It's trying to juggle everything, whereas I'm guessing for you, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, your structure goes out the window a little bit. You try to keep as much structure as you can. You get up in the morning, crack on with your running or whatever you need to do, and then I try to do my gym stuff in the afternoon, and I vice versa. I change it around. Some mornings I go up, do my gym work, have the day to myself, or I go for a walk, and then do my running stuff in the afternoon. So I was trying to keep a balance and trying to go to bed at the same time, and just keeping a routine as close to what I would normally do when I'm training, or just in general life when we're able to go out and do what we'd like to do. Yeah,
so have you been given a programme to follow from the club?
Yeah, we've all got programmes we've got to follow. It's pretty much every day, really. Our running, we can do a cycle if we want to do a cycle. So we got to record the stuff at centre back so they know what we're doing. Just gives them a bit of feedback that we're keeping up to the certain levels. But I'm adapting to more of the cycling than the running because I'm no use at running. I can do what I can, but
me too.
It's not for me.
I'm in exactly the same boat. I try and get out every day on my bike, but oh god, # started a running group, and I tried.
It's not for us, is it?
No.
It's no good, mate. It's no good.
Definitely not. So, because you're on loan at the minute, which must be a quite interesting point. So, are you now back with your parent club, or are you doing this?
Yeah, well,
your loan club?
It's because the season's not officially ended. My loan date has actually finished technically when the season was supposed to finish. So, I'm currently back at Doncaster now, but it's just everything's so unclear and so uncertain. Everything's up in the air. So, I don't really know, to be honest with you. I think I'm back at Doncaster, but we just got to wait and see if the season finishes, if it doesn't finish, and then we'll just take it from there.
Right, because, I mean, Doncaster were ticking along quite nicely, weren't they, in League 1?
Yeah, they were flying, to be fair. Had a good start to the season. Obviously, Senny come in and done really well. And they got some big results. They were up there, they were in around the playoffs, but obviously it come at a bad time when everything come to a halt. But there is bigger issues in the world and more serious things going on. But they were in a good position, to be fair. So
what would you like to see as the outcome then of this? Is it cancelled, points per game? How do you see it?
Obviously, being a player myself, obviously I want to play at all costs, no matter what. But like I say, the safety of everyone, not just the players, everyone around the club and everyone in general that is associated with the football clubs, the fans, whoever it may be. I think everything else has got to be taken into account before the football actually happens. But for me, obviously, if you ask anyone else that's playing, would love to get back out on the pitch and start playing football again.
So would you rather finish the season as it is and then start the next season?
Yeah, me personally, yeah. I would like to finish the season and then obviously start next season when we can.
Yeah, I think that would be best for everyone.
Yeah.
I'd love it. I don't know how it would work timing-wise, but I think you want to finish what you've started, really, don't you?
That's the thing, yeah. And I think that's why there's no decision being made at this moment in time. I think it's obviously hard for the EFL and whatever it may be. There's a lot to take into consideration. But for me personally, and I'm sure there's many other people out there that would think the same, that they just want to get back out there playing football again. Yeah,
so for everyone who's just come in, just to change tact a little bit, in terms of the next 30, 40 minutes or so, talking about your journey, how you've become pro, your highs and lows along the way, and your experiences of being a professional footballer.
Yeah.
Right, so a little bit of a background and an introduction to you. You moved across from your native Ireland to Man City. You were there as a youth, and then you moved yourself up and got yourself into the first team frame. You were working, training with the likes of Joe Hart, Willy Caballero. I keep saying that wrong. Willy Caballero and Angus Gunn as well, who's now at Southampton.
Yeah.
Got yourself squad number 45 at Man City. Then
48, I think, is it?
45 tells me. But if you tell me it's 48, then
I think so. It's a couple of years now.
I'll go back on the sources. So, yeah, moved to Barnet, an emergency loan.
Yeah.
That's where you got your first taste of league football. Moved to Bury as well, had a loan spell at Bury. Saved 2 penalties and an FA Cup replay against Bradford. Moved to Doncaster. Got promotion from League Two. Finished third in League Two with Doncaster, where you currently are, and you spent the last few months on loan at Scunthorpe. And then in the midst of all that, you've been Republic of Ireland under-19, under-21 international, and have also been called up to the senior squad a few times as well. Yeah. Phenomenal. Love that. Yeah. Right. So that's a little bit of background on you and your journey so far. But I want to take that right back to the very beginning. Yeah. When did you start playing?
I started playing as far back as I can remember, to be honest. I've always been an outdoor person, an outdoor kid. I've always wanted to be out playing sports and doing whatever it may be, whatever sport it was, chucking myself around my mum's back garden, causing chaos. And it really comes from my dad, really. He was a goalkeeper. So I just tended to follow in what he was doing, and I'd go to watch his football. And then obviously the older I got, I wanted to start training as a goalkeeper, and he looked after me and took me out doing some one-on-one sessions, and then that's where I got my love for it.
So was your dad any good?
Yeah, I've learned from him. So he's a good keeper. He's a good keeper. He's knocking on now, like he's not playing anymore, but he was a good goalkeeper. He was renowned around the area that we lived in for being a good goalkeeper. So yeah, I have a lot to thank him for as well.
So when did you start playing for a team then?
Off the top of my head, I don't know what age, but I was always involved with St. Malachy's, my local football team, for where it all began, really. When my dad used to play for them, they'd bring me up, they'd get me involved. And then as I hit a certain age, I started to train with the team, get involved in mini games and stuff like that. And then I played there for a number of years.
So when you started off at that young age, were you always a goalkeeper?
Yes, from being obviously training with my dad and being around my dad when he was playing, but I did play centre half at one stage. I don't know if it's because I was no good up front, then my midfield, and all the way back into being a goalkeeper. But I always played centre half for a bit, and then I'd love being a goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong, but then you always want to have a taste of the outfield action. You want to be involved. You want to score goals. You want to do different things. But I knew where my place was, and it was definitely in goal.
Yeah, I mean, from a goalkeeper perspective, I've always found that if goalkeepers fancy themselves as outfield players, centre forwards.
Yeah, you want to get all the glory you can, don't you?
Yeah, but you've gone for centre half.
I know, yeah. I don't know. I think it's just because I was so tall compared to all the other little people. I could win some headers and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously, as a goalkeeper nowadays, when you get a chance to play outfield and train, the one place you're going is right up the other end of the pitch to try to score some goals.
So, I mean, you're a big lad now. Are you 6'4"?
6'5", yeah.
6'5". Were you always a big kid?
Yeah, I was always a really tall kid, yeah. Obviously, I take after my dad. My mum, my sisters are not that tall, but my dad's a tall man. That's where I get it from.
So when you were going through the ages and whatnot, do you think that height and that presence helped you as a kid?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, nowadays, how it is, everyone's looking for big keepers, big presence, tall. But as a kid, it did stand for me, really. Obviously, I played a lot of basketball when I was a kid. So obviously with the height, it was good for my hand-eye coordination, which is, I think, one of my strongest points is my handling. I feel really comfortable with the ball. And I think that stemmed from all the basketball I used to play. And I always thought, I love the game, but I always thought that was an extra training session for my hands, if that makes sense, and more fitness as well, which has helped me to where I am now. But yeah, I think I was lucky, obviously, how tall I am. And don't get me wrong, I would like to be a little bit taller.
Yeah, I mean, just on that basketball point, I suppose the conversations now around youth development are very much around early or late specialisation. When do you want the goalkeeper to go in goal and only focus on being a goalkeeper? And how many different sports do you want people to play as they're growing up? But it sounds like you specialised pretty early, but then you had a couple of different sports that you played in order to help you hone your abilities in a kind of a wider spectrum than only playing football and only playing in goal.
Yeah, no, there is. I agree with you. I think, especially at a young age, if you can get involved in any sports, whether you want to pursue a career in, I don't know, maybe basketball, football, whatever it may be. But I always just seen it as an opportunity to get involved in any sport that I could, because I just loved being outdoors, loved playing sports. But when I knew what I really wanted to do, I continued with my basketball. When I was still living in Ireland, I continued with my basketball. I played hurling, I played Gaelic football. So everything was to do was all hand-eye coordination. And I think that has stood for me, and it really improved my handling.
Yeah, especially basketball. What position did you play at basketball?
Point guard. So I think it was the big tall geezer just stood under the basket, so I could just push people out of the way.
But in terms of, the movement patterns of a point guard and the movement patterns of a goalkeeper, there would be some similarities between the two.
Yeah, of course there is. Basketball is all, well, for me personally, from my experience, basketball is all like your footwork, your handling, obviously hand-eye coordination with the ball. When I used to do drills, we're doing a lot of footwork stuff. So I think it's pretty similar to being a goalkeeper. I think obviously you handle the ball with your hands. You need to be good with your feet to move around in certain areas. You need to be able to pivot and be able to shuffle, whatever it may be. And I think, like I say, doing all that when I was a kid, it has stood for me.
Yeah. So when did you drop those other sports then, or don't you? Or maybe you haven't. Maybe you're still playing.
No, I've had to drop them before I came to. It wasn't just before. It was a couple of years before I moved to England, when I was going to various clubs for training weeks and trials and here and then and that. But I still got the love for the other games that have helped me along the way. But I had to knock them on the head. I had an opportunity to go down the basketball road as well, because it's something that I really loved. I had pretty good talent at it, because I used to be in camps all year. We were in with a family in Dublin who are known for being a massive basketball family. They've got kids in America who are in college, and they were really good to us. So once I knew what road I was going down, I stuck to my football and knuckled down and give it my all. That's when I had to drop all the other sports.
I don't know of any NBA Irish basketballers.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
Could have been a trailblazer.
Oh, God.
So, goalkeeping-wise at that age, who was your idol growing up? Who was the keeper?
Who was the keeper that I looked up to as a kid? Me and my dad studied Oliver Kahn and Buffon.
Okay.
We used to watch videos for hours and hours and weeks. We just loved watching. And when they were live on TV, he'd have me sitting in the front room with him, just studying them and watching what they're doing. And we'd get some DVDs and of their training videos and what they would do in training. And then we'd go to the pitch. We'd write down a list of what we wanted to do in the training session that day, and we'd like mirror what they done. And it was them two. It was just to see how they were as goalkeepers and how demanding and how good they were. I was just so intrigued by what their attributes and how like I say, how good they were, and it's something that I wanted to take from them and put it into our training drills.
So where did you find those DVDs from at that point of those trainings?
I haven't got a clue. My dad got them from somewhere, but I don't even ask those questions.
Because now, I suppose, in the age that we're in with social media, with YouTube, with all those things, that kind of information is a lot more accessible. It's a lot more off the shelf. You might not see the context and the detail that sits behind the sessions, but you'll be able to see the session. Yeah. But back in, I mean, I'm a little bit older than you as well. And, it just wasn't around. So if you'll be able to find DVDs at that age, it shows that you're going to take things seriously and you're going to be looking at what you need to do in order to improve. Yeah, definitely. And even then, it was match of the day. My dad would make me, well, not make me sit down. I'd be interested anyway, but he'd always be like, let's watch the goalkeepers tonight. Watch the mistakes. Can you learn from them? What they do well and why they done it well. So you can take different things from the game, and then I can put it. It'd be a Friday night or a Saturday night. I'd have a game the next week, so I'd learn different traits from the games or mistakes and how I seen the mistakes that they made in my what I seen of it. But then stuff that they done well. Why did they do that well? How did they make that save? How could they get to something that was right in the top corner? And we just broke it down and we wrote stuff out. We done all sorts of things. People talk about goal setting and planning and whatnot. That seems very detailed for someone at a young age to go, right, this is what I want to do, therefore this is how I'm going to do it. Have you always had that kind of mindset and that? Yeah, I've always had that kind of mindset, but it was my dad really.
because he was he loved being a goalkeeper so much. He just almost fascinated by the top, like we say, the Oliver Kahns, the Buffons, how good they were at the top level, the top end of the game. So he just loved studying them and wanted to know why they were so good. How were they making these crazy saves that some people wouldn't even know how to think about it? Do you know what I mean? So I wanted to learn. Even to this day, I always want to learn. I want to know why. I still look at other goalkeepers. I watch, when I'm sat here bored, I watch videos of goalkeepers and like one-on-ones, different things that they do. And I've always like picked from other people's games and tried to bring it into my game to improve me.
So who do you watch nowadays then?
Nowadays, obviously I'm a big fan of Joe Hart. Always have been since I obviously had the chance to work with him. I like watching a lot of different. Still watching Buffon.
I mean, yeah, he's still going.
He's still going. He's flying. He's unbelievable. But yeah, I watch any goalkeeper, any division, anywhere. I just love studying goalkeeping, if that makes sense. I love knowing and learning every single day.
Do you think it's important to be a student of the game?
Of course it is, because especially for me, speaking personally, I'm never going to be the finished article. I'm a million miles away where I want to be. I've got a lot to learn. I've got a lot to improve on. So I've always got to be learning. If I just think, right, I'm at a level now where I'm comfortable with myself, then for me personally, that's a fail for me, because you're going to improve every single day. You have to improve every single day. That's when you train, you want to work on something, you got to improve on it. And that's how I've always been.
Yeah. Right. The mention of Joe Hart is a nice little segue, I suppose, into the next step of your career.
Yeah.
So you moved from Ireland across to Man City. How old were you and how did that come about?
It was the day after, or 2 days after my 16th birthday. I left home to move to Manchester. I had a couple of trials when I was younger. I went around a few different clubs. But for me, the reason why I chose Man City was because it was a family club. It felt like home, away from home, if that makes sense. The staff were amazing. The people that I was living with were amazing. The family that I was with. And it just felt right for me. So I think it was a day or two after my 16th birthday is when I actually left home to come across. And I think coming up to 10 years in October.
So I'm assuming as a 16-year-old, that's the first time that you're living away from your family home.
Yeah.
How was that transition period?
Do you know what? I never thought about it too much. I've always been the kind of person that I'll step into the unknown and just try find myself. I will. No one's going to hand you anything when you're a new boy and you come in. You've got to go make friends. You've got to go speak to people. If you're just going to sit in the corner and just be quiet, we know like no one's really going to come to you. But you've got to get yourself out there. You've got to put yourself in positions that you never would be in, especially as a 16-year-old lad just coming from home. You've got to kind of like grow quick. Obviously, we know the industry that we're in. You've got to look after yourself. So I think from the transition to coming across, it wasn't. Obviously, don't get me wrong. I did miss my family. I did go home every couple of weekends. The club were great at the time. If you ever need time off a day or two to go back and see your family, it was never an issue. But it's what I'd worked for and what I was looking forward to so much that when I got there, I was just so excited to just get to work and get out training every single day.
It sounds like you're quite an outward personality kind of guy, like you're talking about there, going out and meeting people and having that sort of characteristic. I was listening to something on Richard Lee's Instagram page, which kind of spoke about that in a way. Does that kind of personality help you as a goalkeeper because of the nuances of the position?
Yeah, I think it does. Like I've always been like that since I made that transition across. I thought I'm quite an outgoing person anyway. I like meeting new people, learning off different people, and you never know what you can achieve. But I think, especially with the day and age we're in now, where the game is at, how you're not just a goalkeeper anymore. As we all know, you're another player. So you've got to be vocal. You've got to command the back four. You've got to be able to know how to speak to certain individuals. If you can give your left centre half a bit more grief than you can the right, you got to know how to interpret with people and speak to them in a certain manner, because some players don't like to be spoken to in a certain way, and if you do, you won't get anything from them. So I've found that out for myself anyway. You've got to know how and when and what manner to speak to someone in a game. And I think that's, from me being an outgoing person and knowing different situations, that's where I've kind of gradually learned how to deal with people like that.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, that is, actually, because I mean, when you see goalkeeper in the media, in the match of the day and stuff like that, they don't talk about those other things that go on around goalkeeping. They talk about saves and errors, basically,
Yeah,
those two. But there's so much other breadth of attributes that a goalkeeper needs in order to be successful, and that sounds like it's definitely one of them.
yeah, definitely. It's the biggest for me. You got to be commanding. You got to be a good shot stopper. You got to have all the attributes. You got to be good at what you do. But when I come off a pitch on a Saturday afternoon and we've won, and if we had a clean sheet, I think the most important thing is that the reason why we've had a clean sheet, everyone's worked hard. The back four have worked incredibly hard. But if I pull them into the position that they see, if I see something that they don't see, I give them a shout. Then I can get them in positions where they're not doing as much work as if they are out of position where they're scrambling 40, 50 yards to get back or whatever it may be. So I think the communication is so key and so important. And like I say, how you speak to certain players and how you come across in your manner, I think you need to understand who your back four are and what they like and what they don't like. That's something that I've learned as well off my goalkeeper coach when I first came over to Man City, and it stuck with me the whole way. It was one of the first things we spoke about when I came over, and it stuck with me since. And I realised that it does have a big positive effect on it when you know how to speak to certain individuals in a certain way.
Going back to your Man City time, and you've just moved across. You've then gone through 16. Yeah, so I'm guessing you were under 17s then when you moved across.
Yeah.
And you've gone all the way through to the first team, and you were training with the likes of Joe Hart, you've mentioned.
Yeah.
What were the differences for you when you were going through those age groups before then, and as well as then playing within the professional environment and the first team?
So at that time we were based at Platt Lane, and the first team were down at a different training centre. So we were there. I was there for a couple of years at Platt Lane, and even when I first came over, the step from being in Dublin to 17 under 18s, I was mixing with. I was playing up in age, training with people that were a little bit older, and it took me a while to adjust to the speed, because at that time they have more than back in Dublin. We had like training twice a week, but I do my goalkeeping training with my dad, so we were training like nearly every day. But when you're playing with players who have been training 3-4 times a week, and you step into that environment, at first it just seems hectic. It's carnage. You feel out of your depth almost because it's so quick. Even at that age, I found that. But the more the weeks go on and you train every single day and you're adapting to the speed and the level that you're at, it does benefit you. But then when you make the transition from Platt Lane up to Carrington, where the under 23s, which are the reserves in the first team, it was just stepping into a different kettle of fish altogether. It was crazy.
So how did you cope with that?
I needed to stay focused. I think concentration was the biggest thing, because like you say, you're moving up the age, you're playing with better players. You get the chance to train with the first team if you're needed for, like, say they have a 3 games, all different teams. You might be needed in goal for one of the teams or whatever. And you've got to be ready. Like you say, if a manager from the first team pulls someone across from the 23s, you've got to be ready. You've got to be at the levels. But I did struggle for a couple of weeks because it was so quick. But I just kept working away at it. I just kept my head down, kept working hard. I was speaking to Joe Hart, asking him questions. How did he deal with it? What advice would he give me in that situation to adapt to it? And it was just all learning and doing as much stuff as I could in training to try to get up to that level.
How important was it that someone like Joe Hart at that time was England's number one throughout that, wasn't he, at that particular time? How good was it for you, and how important was it that you could actually bounce those sort of ideas and questions off him?
Yeah, to be fair, personally as well, he's been unbelievable for me. He took me under his wing. He looked after me. We still speak on a regular basis now. We still speak about football and different things in life. But to have someone like him there when he was England's number one, he was one of the best keepers in the world at one stage. Just to, even when we got the chance to train with them, just to watch them, to stand back and just look at how he does certain things, and all the other goalkeepers as well. But one thing I will say, every time I had a question or I needed some advice on why did you do this, or I've asked him, why did you do that like that, or what should I do different when I just done it, it'd always give you the time and the respect to break it down and tell you exactly why and why he thought it was beneficial and why it's worked for him.
So I suppose you've got to take Joe Hart as the example, but generally in terms of top class goalkeepers, what sets them apart from other goalkeepers?
I think it's the work ethic, the time and effort that they put in. Is all like they're always working so hard, never leaving like any stone unturned. There's always extra bits to be doing. Like I said not so long ago, you're never the finished article, no matter what level you're at. There's always stuff to be improved on. I think the ones at the top of the game are just always constantly working away, keeping their head down, working on everything each and every single day. But I think it's the mentality as well. Mentality is a massive thing. Really believing in themselves and trusting in their own ability.
So it was also around the time that you were at Man City that you got the call up for the Irish national teams.
Yeah.
As well. So that was 19s, 21s, and also the senior squad.
Yeah.
There as well. Had you been part of the Ireland setup before you'd moved across to Man City?
Yeah, I played under. It was like a development squad that they had, and then there was an under 15s and under 16s, and then I went straight to 19s. I think, or it could have been the 17s, and then it went 19s, 21s, something like that. So there's always been like they had the FAI. They always had like emerging talent. So I say on a Monday night they'd have like a school of excellence kind of. Where you'd go to a certain place on a Monday night, you'd do 2 hours there. But and obviously as I'd done that for a couple of years, and then obviously as I moved across to Man City, it went to like 21. So it was more European qualifiers. It was bigger games you were playing in. You were traveling abroad, playing in different countries, and that's where obviously my first taste of international football at that level. That I got the feel for it.
So what were the differences there between the different age groups on an international stage?
Yeah, it was different. Like you say, you're going to different countries. You're playing different styles. You're playing against different nationalities, different countries. It's just a completely different scene for me. Anyway, personally, it was just completely different. But something that I really love. There's no better feeling than, like you say, putting on your Ireland jersey or wherever you come from, playing for your country is a proud honour. But I think with one stage we played against Germany, and there was like Emre Can playing and players like that, and that was just it was crazy. The speed of the game, it was just an unbelievable experience, and I just thought there was a difference between international football and club football.
And how did you prepare for that as a goalkeeper, or how did your preparation differ to when you were in club football?
I never prepared any differently. I always prepared, working hard, working at all my stuff. I watch clips with the analysis on the different strikers that whatever country we may play, whether I'm doing that playing for Ireland or when I'm at my club, whether I'm playing against someone on a Saturday, I'll always get the clips on a Friday or a Saturday morning. I'll watch the clips. So it doesn't really change for me. I've always had a structure where I'd want to see the opposition penalties or the striker who's been playing the last 4 or 5 games, what movement he makes, how many goals he scored, which way does he like to shoot, all them different kind of things. So my preparation has always kind of been pretty similar.
In terms of then how I suppose it's part of the preparation question as well,
yeah.
But in terms of the club type, how does your club preparation, what's it like now? What's your week look like as a professional footballer?
So we got Monday, Tuesday. If we have no game on a Tuesday, we'll train Monday, Tuesday. We have a tough session. It'll probably be like a second day recovery maybe on a Monday for the boys who played 90 minutes on the Saturday. Tuesday will be like an overload day, so the goalkeepers will get a bit of a beasting on a Tuesday because, you got a nice day off on a Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday is more of like game prep. So we might do like in and out possession. But then with the goalkeepers, we will look at what's the opposition's strengths. What do they do? Do they do long throw-ins? Do they do cram everyone around the goalkeeper? Do they put long balls in? Do they do certain movements around the box? We work on all different scenarios with the goalkeeping coach. He will look at the clips, and so we will have a structure on based on who we are playing on the weekend. So we prepare for every different scenario that we can.
So how much time is that spent with the goalkeeping coach, and how much time is spent with the overall squad?
I think this season, for me personally, I think it's varied a bit. As much as, obviously, I want to be doing as much goalkeeping as I can. Nowadays, especially with the way the game has gone, you're now an outfield player with gloves on, as they say. We do a lot more of possession-based stuff. We do boxes. We do a lot of stuff that with the outfielders. Some days we get a good bit of time, but then some days we might have 20 minutes to get some work in, and then we're straight into like phases of play or possessional stuff to get us involved with the team. That's the only thing for me, obviously, with how the game is changing, but that's the way it's going. As goalkeepers, we'd love to be there for an hour and a half doing goalkeeping session as much as we can, but with the way the game has changed and evolved now, we can't really do that because we're adapting to how the game is now.
Do you have a preferential training session type thing that the ones that you go, oh, I'm really looking forward to this session today?
No. I just love any goalkeeping session, no matter what. I just love what I do, and I'm not just saying that. I don't have a preferred session. I just love everything in general that I do when we're doing goalkeeping training or training with the team in general. But I just love it. I really do have a big passion for it.
This is a purely selfish question, just because I've kind of made that transition across. I've coached for years, but now I'm specifically looking at goalkeeping coaches and coaching the hashtag keepers from there.
Yeah.
But what are the qualities that you think are important as a goalkeeper that you want to see in a goalkeeping coach?
What are the qualities that you would have as a goalkeeper that you want to see in a goalkeeping coach?
Yeah, so you as a player, what do you expect of your coach, of your goalkeeping coach?
To break down, so let's say we have a session to break down the session into different parts. So why we're doing it. This is the reason why we're doing this. This is the reason why we're doing this. It'll be leading up to a certain scenario. So you may start off with a certain situation that you will build up into, like say maybe a double save or a triple save where you go bottom right corner, you spin, you make a block, and then you may make another block again. So it's just knowing what you're doing and why we're doing it. I like that personally. Some people they get in and get on with a session, but I like to know why we're doing it. So I'm always asking questions. The reason why we're doing it is X, Y, and Z. So I know in my head, the reason why I'm doing this is for this scenario, it's for that scenario. It's just to know, like I say, why you're doing it. And there's obviously a reason behind everything that you do. But I always like to ask questions and understand why.
Do you think you have a different relationship with the goalkeeping coach than outfield players do with other coaches?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think it's because we're such a tight-knit group. There's only 4 of us with the goalkeeping coach. We all get on unbelievably well. We spend so much time away from the rest of the group. We have our own time. But I do feel personally I've got a really close relationship with my goalkeeping coach, even outside of football. I really get on with him. But I think for me it's important to get on with the people that you work with. I know it always doesn't happen for me personally. I've been looking forward to that I have done. And but I think that's the reason why we always have a different and a stronger relationship with our goalkeeping coach and outfield players would do with the management team, because we spend more time in a smaller group than we would with a bigger group of players.
So this might be a little bit of a leading question here, but who's the best coach that you've worked under?
Do you know, I've been fortunate to work with quite a few goalkeeping coaches. I enjoyed working with every single one. To be fair, every goalkeeping coach that I've worked under has always had a different kind of a way of coaching. There's been like a different philosophy. So when I was at Man City, the Spanish goalkeeping coach Xavi, his was more like technical stuff. So your footwork when you're diving and different stuff. Now that I'm at Doncaster with Paul Gerrard, we get our technical stuff in, but then he's very keen on fitness and being fit and being sharp. So it's hard to say, because every goalkeeping coach has his own way of working, if that makes sense. Not everyone's is the same. So I've been fortunate to work with all these different goalkeeping coaches, but I've enjoyed every single one that I've worked with.
That's a good on the fence answer.
And that's an honest answer as well.
So going back to your playing career, you're at Man City, then you get a call for an emergency loan at Barnet.
Yeah.
That's your first taste of professional football.
It is, yeah. It was literally, it happened so quick. It was a no-brainer. I knew, I think they had some injuries. Graham Stack was there. I didn't know a lot about Stacky before I went there, but he was injured. Went down. Martin Allen was the manager. Got on really well with every single one of them there. And it was nice for all the training that I've done over the years, to actually go out and experience league football. It was so enjoyable. My first game was away at Yeovil, so we travelled on the day. It was all different experience. It's a good run, that. It's a good run. It was just a different experience, just having your pre-match on the bus, going on the morning of the game. It's a good couple of hours to the game and stuff. But when you get there, that just goes out the window, because all you focus on is you just want to play football. I was a bit nervous. Obviously, my first game, I didn't really know what to expect. But once the game kicked off and you had a few good touches, or you made a decent save, or you made a routine catch, you just started to breathe confidence. But it was a really special feeling to make my debut that day.
I mean, nerves is something I get asked about quite a lot. Do you have anything? I mean, first of all, do you get nervous playing
Yeah,
football? You do.
yeah. Before the game, it's nerves in a sense of you want to do well, not nerves of like, oh, am I going to make a mistake today or whatever. It's always before the game. You're so like psyched up and ready to go. You just want to get on with it. So as soon as you get the ball at your feet, or everything just calms down, you build your way into the game. You don't try to go chasing it. You just let everything come to you, and then that's how it is for me personally. I do get a bit nervous before a game, but it's nerves in terms of wanting to do well without trying, or nerves. It's not nerves with being on edge, or am I going to do this today? Thinking about a previous mistake that you may have made, or whatever it may be. But yeah, you do generally, yeah, you get a little bit of nerves, but I think it's more excitement as well, to be fair, than nerves.
Do you have any certain way of coping with big match nerves? Is there anything that you do at all?
I've got little routines that I go through in my head. Yeah. I just say some stuff to myself that I've worked on for a couple of years, that I say over and over. But once the game kicks off and you get a touch of the ball or whatever it may be, you just fully focus on the game, and nothing else around you really matters.
The other question I get asked a lot is about mistakes.
Yeah.
And mistakes as a goalkeeper are often amplified because often they result in a goal rather than a centre midfielder missing a pass or whatnot.
Yeah.
If you had any advice for a younger goalkeeper about mistakes, what would it be?
To look at it, if you make a mistake, get on with the rest of the game. Try to. My goalkeeping coach, Matty, always used to tell me, when you make a mistake, it's like changing the TV. You change the channel. You forget about it. It's like a new page in a book. You turn the page over, it's a fresh page, you start again. You can't affect what's happened in the past. As long as you learn from it, then you're moving in the right direction. If you keep making the same mistake over and over and over again, week in, week out, then that's a bit more of an issue. But that's what I've always gone by. If I make a mistake on a Saturday, I'll have a look at it maybe on a Saturday night when I get home after a game, leave it for the Sunday, and then when I get back in on the Monday morning, I'll always go through my clips as well. I sit down with the goalkeeping coach and we will go through it. And as long as I learn from it and try to put it right, I know what I've done.
So is there anything in particular that you do during a game if you make a mistake in a game?
Yeah, it's hard to kind of say. It's more the mental side where I just reset. There's nothing I'd say to myself, there's nothing I can do now. I don't start trying to chase the game. I don't start trying to do things that I would never do. I just try to be still in control of myself. I still try to just believe in myself. Just keep doing what I'm doing. I've made a mistake. There's nothing I can do about it. I hold my hands up. It's my mistake. But I think if you just fully focus on the next many minutes is left or whatever it may be, but if you can try to forget about it and move on and just know, as long as you learn from it. But in a game, for me, I just reset. All I say to myself, reset, reset, reset. And as long as I can do that, then I'm all right.
So you actually say that to yourself during a game. So that's kind of like a trigger phrase for you.
Yeah, that's kind of like my trigger, if you like. Yeah, if I do make a mistake in a game, I'll just say reset, reset, reset. And then I just have to get on, because literally there's nothing else you can do. You've still got 45 minutes, you got an hour left, you got whatever it may be, you got so much time to put it right. Do you know what I mean? So that's all I say to myself is reset. It's like changing the channel. That always stuck with me. Change the TV. If it's boring or you don't like it, change it. Made a mistake, I don't like what happened. Change the channel and you've got the rest of the game to play.
Yeah. I love that. So that's your time at Barnet, and that's your first of league football. And then from there in the same season, you've gone for a loan move to Bury as well. Yeah,
pretty much straight after Barnet, I think. It was from December to January, and then within 2 or 3 days, I went straight to Bury. Really enjoyed my time at Bury. Loved it. It was obviously a step up. I went into League Two at Barnet, played 5-6 games, I think, over the Christmas period, and then went to League. I think it was League One with Bury. I think the first game was actually the FA Cup game before the replay in against Bradford. But like I say, that was another step up for me. But I think it was because the momentum that I was out playing first team football. I just wanted to keep it going. So I never changed anything about myself. I just kept my head down when I went in, kept working hard, kept doing what I was doing, stuck to what I believed in myself, and just tried to get as many games under my belt and improve as much as I could.
So you were playing 23s before this at Man City, and then you've gone into League Two and League One football.
Yeah.
How much did under-23 football prepare you for that?
It did, but for me personally, the way, obviously the philosophy at Man City and everything, when you go from playing under 23s football to League Two, it's a completely different kettle of fish. You're playing under 23, you're playing with all people your same age, probably against some younger lads that are playing up into the 23s. But when you go to League Two or League One, you go into men's football, you're playing against 35-year-olds, you're playing against, do you know what I mean? You're playing against, it's a different kettle of fish. It did prepare me, but I had still some learning to do.
So how adaptable are you then? And how important is adaptability?
Yeah, it's very important. It's really important. I like I said to myself, I'm quite a simple person. If I've got to adapt to something, I've got to adapt to something. There's no point in dwelling on it. I can't moan for myself. Oh, this is too hard or whatever. I've just got to go in, knuckle down and give my best shot. That's what I have to do. Because if I don't, then I'm just going to be left behind. It's not going to be good enough. So I just break it down as simple as possible for myself. Anything I do in life, I just break it down as simple as possible. I've got to adapt to it. If this is a career that I want, if it's a road that I want to get down, I've got to adapt to it. There's no other way about it. I've taken some blows and punches along the way and mistakes, but it's what you got to do. It's where you learn. It's where you learn your trade and learn from your mistakes. And it is, like you say, adaptability is key.
So that's your time at Bury. You also saved 2 penalties in FA Cup replay.
Yeah, that was a good night actually. We it was away at Bradford actually. I think we were down to 10 men after 10 minutes. Centre half decided to slam dunk the ball in the middle of the pitch. So it was a graft all night, to be fair. Went to extra time, went to penalties, and to be fair, that was my first proper taste of it. Fans singing your name. We had a couple, I think there was like 2,000-3,000 Bury fans there on it. I think it was a Tuesday night. And to have fans singing your name after the game, the boys coming getting around you, and it's the first point in my career, like I say, where I had people singing my name and being like, where I made 2 really important saves that got the club into like the next round of the FA Cup. It was a special moment.
Well, it looks like you've got some Doncaster fans on here at the moment who are listening to you, and not necessarily. Well, they are actually singing your name. _M.C_04. We've got Ian Lawlor in our goal type chant on there, so it looks like you're quite popular there. That kind of leads me on to a question that's been asked in the chat here by Louis Lawlor. Louis Lawlor is in the hashtag frame as well. He was part of the Academy series there. He was asking, what's your best experience? Where is it? It's your best experience in a football shirt. What's your highlight of your career? Is what he's asked.
The highlight of my career so far is the day we got promoted with Doncaster. It's a special feeling. Obviously I went there in the January. It was straight into the deep end. Really, they were top of the table. They were flying. And I knew it was going to be a big challenge for me. But like you say, a couple of months of hard work, still improving every single day. And when that day comes when you finish on a Saturday afternoon and you're being promoted, there's no better feeling.
So what are the characteristics then of a promotion-winning team?
To be fair, it was. I had to learn pretty quick because I came in the January when the team were on the up. The club was flying. They hadn't lost many games whatsoever. I signed on the Thursday, couldn't train, was waiting for the medical. Trained on the Friday morning, and then we travelled actually back to Barnet. My first game was actually away at Barnet. So you just had to understand quick. I needed to get to know the boys pretty quick. I only had all the way down on the bus and in the hotel, speaking to the lads at dinner, getting to know them. We didn't know each other, so I was just trying to adapt to their philosophy. There was a great group of lads, and no wonder they done so well that season, because it was just everyone wanted the same goal, everyone was on the same track, and they just wanted to achieve one thing, and that was promotion.
And then I'm actually going to flip this around the other way, because that's a really good question to come in from Alec McLachlan.
Yeah.
He said, "What's the first time?" So that's the high.
Yeah.
On the other end of the scale, what's the first time you hit a bump or a negative part in your career, and then how did you deal with it?
I've hit many negative and negative points and bumps along the way. I've had a couple last season. Injuries are a big thing.
You were actually injured as well. Sorry to cut you off, but on that first season that you went to Man City as well, weren't you?
I had my shoulder. I had a shoulder operation. Yeah, I did. So I was young. I was obviously living away from my family. I couldn't fly because of the surgery that I had. So it was tough times. But like I said, I seen it as a positive. When I got injured and I had to have my shoulder repaired, I've had them twice now. I always seen it as a chance to improve, to get fitter, to get stronger. Have maybe 4 or 5 months in the gym, the time that I needed to get my shoulder right, but work on every other aspect of my body. It's difficult sometimes when you're in the weeks leading up to a game in the season. You can't go crazy on the weights and you can still do your stuff, but can't go crazy. But I just seen it as a positive. So whenever a negative happened to me, I always try to turn it into a positive.
Is that sort of something that you were kind of that comes naturally to you? Is it something that you were born with, this positive mindset, or is it something that you've had to kind of tweak along the way?
To be fair, it comes a lot from my mum. She's quite a positive person. She'll always say to me, most days, she'll be like, be grateful for what you have, you're fit, you're healthy. So whenever you see a negative or something comes along the way that you don't really like, or you're in a situation, always try to look for the positive in it. It's like with people, she says, if someone does something bad, try to look for a positive in it. So that's where I get it from her. And still to this day, when we have conversations on FaceTime and whatnot, she'll still say the exact same thing to me. There's obviously been times then when I've done some training with people to do with football, learning to be in the mental side of the game, because I do believe it is a big thing now. And you just need to stay positive. That's like I said before, my mindset in general life and with football is just so simple. I always just try and find a positive in a negative, and if I can turn a negative into a positive, then then you're winning.
Yeah, great advice. So Scott from S1 has sorted this chat out for us.
Yeah.
So you wear S1 gloves.
Yeah.
What is it about S1 gloves that you like?
I think they're a great glove. The quality is brilliant. Obviously, the service that I get from Scott at S1 is unbelievable. I've created a really good friendship with him as well. But I just think the quality of the glove is really good. He'll let me tweak around some stuff that I want to tweak around. But the most important thing is they're quite a simple glove for me. Like, I'm not an overcomplicated person. I don't like big flashy colours and silly grips and silly cuts or whatever. I just like a plain, simple glove. As long as I'm happy with it, does the job, and that's it. That's the main thing.
So IG.ShayBuxton has just asked, what's your favourite S1 gloves? What are you wearing at the moment?
If Scott is watching, he'll probably kill me. I think it's called the Amethysts. Is that the word, is it?
Let's go with that.
I think that's what it is.
Let's go with that. So the purple and black one. What is it about that glove then that you like?
It's just snug. It's tight fitting. It's that's all. I just like a glove. I don't like roll fingers or anything like that, because I just think they're too puffy for me. Like I say, I like to be in control of the ball. I like to feel the ball. So the glove is quite slim. It's quite snug, and once I'm happy with that, then I've not got an issue with it at all.
One of the questions we got asked last week actually was around the price point of S1 gloves, and it not being the same price point as your top of the range Adidas gloves and that sort of stuff. And the question was around perception and about did you think about it in the way that actually these aren't as expensive as the top range gloves, and let that get into it? Like, was that part of a decision-making process of you or at all?
No. I'm quite open-minded. If I try something and I think it's good and I'm happy with it, regardless of how much it costs or comparing to other prices of other gloves across the market, that's irrelevant to me. If you find something that you're happy with, and if it's 10 times cheaper than people say the best gloves are out there, as long as you're happy with what you've got and the product that you're getting, and you're comfortable with the gloves that you're wearing, it's not an issue. Like I say, the gloves that S1 have, I think they're unbelievable quality, but the price that they have them at as well, I think they're very affordable. The quality that they're made with, the detail and the time and effort that goes in from Scott and everyone else, I think he's a credit to himself with what he's done, what he's achieved with the gloves. And
then throughout the week, the question again, Shay's active on the chat. Hopefully he wears S1 gloves as well. He's talking about, do you wear the same gloves throughout for training and games? And I've got a question actually on that as well, because this is something I read about Joe Hart, is that he had 3 pairs of gloves for a match day. He used to train in one, warm up in one, wear the other gloves throughout the game, and have 1 pair for backup apparently.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So basically, if I come out with a new pair of gloves, I'll wear them on like Monday or Tuesday, get them washed, wash them in the shower and leave them. I'll keep them as my match gloves. So I'll pack up a little match day glove box, if you like. So I'll bring one pair for the warm up, one pair for the game, and then I'll always bring two backup pairs just in case. I know the kit man goes absolutely crazy at me as well, but I always just like to know that, right, if anything happens, I've got so many backups, because you never know. I could slip, my hand could go, the glove could bust. You just never know. So I always like to have one for the warm up, one for the game, and two backups just in case.
Right, we've actually. I'll ask this question because I'm friends with Louis, but we've got 10 minutes left or so of the hour. We've actually been going. It's 50 minutes now. It's fine. But he's just talking about rehab on your shoulder. If you can just give a 30-second synopsis on that, and I've got one final question. So if anyone else has got any further questions, now's the time to ask.
Shoulder rehab. It's quite a complex thing to rehab. You've got to be so careful. You take it in stages. Basically, you're in a sling for a couple of weeks. You got to have it's slow. It's a really slow, long process that you got to go through. You've got to build up all the muscles, because you can tend to lose a lot of the muscles that are around the shoulder joint. So you've got all your anterior and your posterior. You've got all the different ones you've got to build up. Then you got to adapt to diving again. So you start off on crash mats, gym mats, starting off on your knees on the grass, build up to smaller dives. So there's a long process that you've got to do, but a lot of it is in the gym. And still to this day, before training or before games, I've got to go through my shoulder rehab preparation before I actually start my actual goalkeeper warm-up. So there's a long process to do before you get onto the pitch.
Take that on board, Louis. Right,
I hope that covers it.
My question is, you've now got the chance, 3 goalkeepers, any time. So it's obviously going to be when they're at the peak of their career, but this is past, present, whenever. But you've got 3 goalkeepers to have a training session with. Yeah. I'm guessing that we know who 2 are from the chat earlier. Yeah. But then who are the 3 that you're gonna have this training session with? So obviously you've guessed the 2 already. Oliver Kahn and Buffon. And then the third one would be Shay Gibbon. Irish legend. Yeah, I was lucky enough to work with him once, but Irish legend, someone that I looked up to massively in my career as well. So why Shay? Obviously, I went about him because he was a goalkeeper that's very different to you, especially in terms of size, but he had a phenomenal career, especially in career. And other places as well. So why Shay? Yeah. Because I used to go to Lansdowne Road with my dad, where Ireland used to play their games back in Dublin. We'd go so many hours before to try to watch his warm up, and it's someone who, obviously, you say you go to watch your country. It's someone who I idolised, looked up to him. I went as many games as we could go to watch Ireland play when we could get the tickets. And obviously, like I say, with him being an Irish legend, the international stage, it's definitely one of my 3. Nice. Okay, definitely. Last question. Yeah. I'm going to ask, and it's from Shay Buxton. He's going to ask one, and then I'm going to just add on another bit. One word answer, just put you completely on the spot. One word answer, right. His question is, who is the best player you've played with? And my question is going to be, who's the best player you've played against? Best player. James Coppinger. Best player I've played with. Okay. Best player I've played against. Doncaster now, right? Doncaster legend, yeah. Yeah. Best player I've played against. Yeah. Does it have to be in a game? Could it be like a training session, maybe? Yeah. I was fortunate enough to train against Argentina when they came over, and they used Man City's training ground. So we done like 11v11 against Messi and people like that. So the best player, obviously, I was lucky enough to share the pitch with would be Messi. Wow. Yeah. And did he score? Yeah, he did, yeah. Probably about 25 yards out. Put me to shame. Nice. Ian, thanks so much. I mean, that's been 55 minutes. No, it's my pleasure, mate. Thanks for having me on. That's actually flown by. That's an absolute quality chat. I love that. And there's some great insights there, actually, about everything and anything, about a whole wide range of things. So that's quality. So thank you very much for that. No, really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Take care, stay safe. And one of the comments in here was get your hair cut as well. So. Oh, I totally agree with whoever said that. There's probably a few more of them. It's absolutely disgraceful, I know. It's a shambles. Oh, God. All right. Nice one, mate. Take care. Right, take care, mate. See you soon. See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. It was a quality chat with Ian from Doncaster Rovers. Right, this series is up on my YouTube channel as well. I think it's also going to be on Instagram Live. So if you have missed any of them, then the last one is on my Instagram Live. All the other ones are on YouTube channel, so make sure you go check those out. S1 Goalkeeping's in the chat as well, so that's Scott. Make sure you go and check out their website as well. And if you did want to buy any gloves there, make sure you use the code ACW1. That gives you a little discount as well, just to help along the way, especially as you can get out and train potentially with one-on-one situations. You can start doing some goalkeeping. Right, excuse me. Hopefully you all enjoyed that. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it, and see you all soon.